Got it. Great.
Here we go. Welcome to Curiosity Public. I'm Dutch.
Jules here.
Dylan.
What are we doing? Oh, yeah. So, in this episode, guys, a very special episode. So special, I forgot what it was going to be about. We decided to enter into a little competition here to see who could come up with the best $100 bar cart. That's right. So you're setting up a bar in your apartment. You got a bar cart. You want to know what bottles to put on it, and you only want to spend $100. We got the answers. So the rules were very simple. You have $100.
That's it.
Come up with the best bar cart. That was it.
Yeah. You could pick one bottle that's like $100.
Yeah.
Or any other permutation.
And
that was it.
We have not discussed this at all. I have no idea what they picked.
No idea.
We've all stashed our picks hidden underneath here, and we're going to be revealing them to you guys one by one. We're going to go through our bar carts individually and explain to you why we picked what we picked. And then you guys should all vote. We're going to launch a poll around the time when we release this, and you can vote for which one of us picked the best bar cart, and then we get bragging rights. We also want you
Or
guys
if you don't like any of them.
Yeah, also we'll have an option C that we're all, or D. Actually, we're not going to include Jules. It's just going to be 3. No, we'll have an option D where you guys can say no, or mine's better. And please, guys, post your picks for what you would spend $100 on for a bar cart, because I found this to be actually a really fun exercise, and I went back and forth so many times, and I ended up kind of scrapping my first plan and going with something kind of different.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I went with my first choice.
Well, okay, since you're so confident, Dylan, why don't you go first?
Yeah. In fact, I'm so confident that I said, sure, I'll go first. And I wanted to kind of go over the reasons why I kind of picked what I picked. I was going for versatility. Now, $100 is not really that much because I wanted a good variety that you can both mix and sip if necessary. But you do have to understand that this is $100, okay? We're not going to be able to fit in a, Glenfarclas 25. That's not going to fit into the price point. So what did I start with? Well, I started with vodka. You have to have vodka, right? I mean, this is, some people come in.
Who drinks vodka?
You know what? And Dutch, I think, mentioned in one of the episodes, I think it was one of the podcast episodes where he complained. He was like, he's one of those bourgeois. He goes into the whiskey bar and says, I want a vodka martini or something. And they didn't have it. And so he threw the chair and, got the water and threw it at the waiter. The usual, right? So you have to have a vodka.
Maybe.
And so what did I pick? I picked a favorite. I picked Tito's handmade vodka.
I will say, Dylan, that's a good choice for vodka.
Because this is chewy. It actually tastes really good if you want to just sip it. And it really mixes well. And you can see how much I already used.
I got to say, one of my favorite YouTube channels is How to Drink. Mm-hmm. And he did a tasting of tons of different vodkas from Tito's price range all the way to $100. And I think that was the winner.
Really?
Yeah. I think that everybody knew that. All right. So let's move on. So we know this is a tried and true. Some people, I know some people who really love Grey Goose.
$10, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is so this one came out to $15. It was $15 for 750. I know some folks in my family who really love Grey Goose, and they won't drink anything else. But I feel like it just isn't that much better. I don't think it is. And
I'm with you 100%.
With a price point that as it is, I think this is a great value. It's $15. Now let's move to the gin. Now gin is tricky because some people like to just sip gin straight. They do. I know a lot of people who do that. They're like gin fiends.
When they drink it, they say gin. Always gin.
Yeah, they just sip it.
Name the movie.
But there are people who will mix it. So what did I pick? This one's a tough one because there are different floral notes. There are different things that you can infuse into it. I went with the tried and true. I actually had to go with a price point. I went with Gordon's London Dry Gin.
Good choice.
This one is $11, and you know this one. It's not going to win any awards, but it's great gin and tonics. It works really well in mixed drinks, and if pressed, you could really sip this. You just have to throw something in there.
Squeeze a lime.
Yeah, squeeze a lime, and this works well. And if you are a gin, even if you're like a gin snob, I feel like if you had nothing else, and you know, like let's say you're like a poor college student, you know, they're gonna get by.
Well, I will say, you know, we've talked a lot about the early days of Curiosity Public when we did a lot of test footage, and one of the things we actually did was a gin and tonic comparo. Gordon's won.
Oh, okay.
Against some much higher priced stuff. So,
Wow. So there you go.
Tanqueray number 10.
So this is my gin, and this was $11. Now, tequila. You have to have tequila, right? Tequila's going crazy. All the celebrities are releasing tequila. You know, as much garbage as they can, you know, like muster, right? So what did I pick? Well, I couldn't pick things like fan favorites like Fortaleza or Tapatio. Those are way too expensive. So I had to go with Espolón. But I went with a Blanco because the Reposado is $1 more, and it actually made my, like, it went above $100. So I had to go with the Blanco, but I think it's not a bad pick. In fact, I think it's a good, you know, mixing tequila, and you can sip this. I really think you can sip it.
Yeah.
And it's $20.
23.
it's very cheap.
And here's the thing.
You can get it even low. You can get that for like $19.
But tequila, I felt like I had to spend a little bit more than these because this, if you get the wrong one, you can vomit.
Completely agree.
You can get really sick. And so you have to kind of watch the budget, but you can't really go for the crap. You can't buy like the hat tequila or like the rifle tequila.
Well, those are too expensive anyway. But,
Yeah, so this is the Espolón. That's $20. Now next, rum. You gotta have rum. So where am I gonna go? Look at this. Dorley XO.
Good
Who makes this? Foursquare, our favorite, right?
Yeah.
And so what, you know, this was $17, even though sometimes at Total Wine you can get it for like $14. But, you know, because I wanted to be fair, you know, I counted this as $17. Good enough sipping rum if you wanted to. Great if it's on ice because it kind of, you know, cleans up the rough edges. And you can mix this. You can mix this and it makes
You want to do a little close up of that?
fantastic. It's fantastic. So this is Dorley's XO. They have other versions of it.
The 12 year is not that much more expensive.
Right, but it made
bucks more,
made
but
it
it
go
would push
over
it
the.
up.
Okay.
Yeah, it
I
would
mean,
push it
you're
up.
counting
Again,
dollars.
all
I
of these,
wanted
you
to-
are counting every
so
dollar.
You have to count every dollar.
I did
okay?
the same challenge you guys did.
Right, so
do.
now this is the hardest one. I picked a Scotch.
What?
I picked a Scotch, and I said, "Wait a minute,
Glenlivet.
I need to have Scotch." I thought of Glenlivet because I know Glenlivet punches way above. I mean, it gets a lot of crap, but it does
Edmonton?
punch above its weight class.
Buchanan?
But it was too expensive. It was still too expensive. So what did I do? I had to get creative. And so, what can a snobby connoisseur drink? They'll probably look down upon you a little bit.
Cutty Sark.
But still, I don't think they'll like complain too much. I got the famous Grass. But it's the Ruby Cask.
Ruby Cask.
It's the Ruby Cask. So they have the regular one, but so here's the thing. The second maturation, the Ruby Cask, really cleans up the edges a little bit. And I think if you did this blind, well, I mean, connoisseurs will know the difference, but I feel like, if they understand your financial situation and they know that you only have $100 to spend on a bar, I think they'll give you a pass with this. It's not bad for $22. Okay? $22. And I looked at other ones, like, am I going to go with the Johnny? The trying to shoot. I feel like this one, this one, I think people, they'll say, Johnny, whatever. I'm not going to drink a Johnny Red. But this one, it's like, no, I'll try it. So this is the Scotch.
Wow.
But I'm not done.
Uh-oh.
We need an American whiskey / first touch whiskey, right? A bourbon, rye maybe. Right. So what did I go for? Well, I couldn't choose, so I will show you both.
So that puts you over 100.
Be quiet. If you live in areas, no, this is for America, okay? Look, if you live in areas where Old Fitz is readily available, this you can get for $15.
Less.
Less than that. So,
12 maybe.
This is a favorite. Why did I pick this? Why isn't this?
It's not
Because it's
focusing.
in your face.
This is dumb. Okay, Old Fitz, okay?
I'll show it over.
All right, Old Fitz. It's a favorite. What is it? It's a weeder, right? But if you cannot get this, the alternative is Old Granddad. Old Granddad.
Oh, look at that got in focus.
Yeah, Old Granddad High Rise. So what does this mean?
That's still $20.
No.
15.
It's $15.
Yeah.
So if you want to mix this, it's great. It's a high rye, decent quality bourbon. If you want to sip it, it sips fine. It sips great. So this is my bar card. Think about this.
We can't see your bourbon, dude. You
So
gotta-
I'm gonna
gotta
get
fix
rid of So I'm gonna get rid of the Old Fitz. I'm gonna say this is what's. Look at if you came into my house and I was a poor college student.
That's a nice looking bar, dude.
And I got all 6 of these represented. Now what's missing? It's missing brandy.
And we should also point out, like, the mixers we're not counting those. So, like,
Right.
your lime juice, your orange juice, your simple syrup,
Vermouth.
your garnishes,
Yeah.
all those things, we're not counting those.
But if you had this in the lineup, I think it would. First of all, it'd be very unique because most people will go to like the Johnnies and they'll pick the usual stuff. I think a person who might be, maybe a connoisseur, maybe they focus on some of these, they'll look at each category and go, yeah, it's not the greatest, but for a college student who only has a budget of 100, you picked a pretty good lineup.
Maybe.
So I think this is the best. Do we need to see theirs? I don't even realize.
Of course.
Let's see Jules.
All right, so this is mine.
Well, so I took a different
You
approach.
can leave them up, dude.
Yeah, you can leave them up.
Just move them all the way.
Took a different approach to this challenge. And because for one, it's funny because I think these guys chose the challenge just to help me upgrade my bar and hosting of
Whatever,
lack
dude. I thought
of
you were just
abilities.
pulling bottles off our shelf over here.
And, as like Dutch can attest to it, or not recent, but a hangout one time, he came over to my place. I was actually hosting an evening, and his wife wanted to make a cocktail. We could not even make a cocktail.
That is true,
So I
actually.
took this challenge and reached out because for one, I am not a cocktail person. And when I thought of the $100 bar cart, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, you know what, I got to make a cart, comprise a cart for mixing, right? So making cocktails. Because the first thing I thought of is when I go to the bar, what? For cocktails, mojito,
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke, gin and tonic, a daiquiri, a whiskey sour, all these things that I just could not provide. And then the challenge of doing it for $100. So what I did was I reached out to my friends, not these two, just because this was supposed to
as
be
friends.
kept in mystery, and they're not my friends. And friends and family took a poll and came out with, I think, a pretty good list. So a lot of them is very specific to, we had to keep it, again, to the $100, so I had to cut corners where I could. But everyone pretty much agreed that, it covers everybody, right? So whoever's mixing. So first up was rum, going with Bacardi Gold. And specifically because I have a couple of friends where they don't do the typical mojito where you're using simple syrup, right? So I know it's one of those, for some diehard mojito fans, it's like you can't do, or you have to use simple syrup. What they do instead is put sugar, and when they muddle it with the mojito leaves. So, and that's how we get like the.
Can I just point out that that's completely wrong?
And, yeah,
I love your friends, and I love you, but
But hey, that's
I
the
talked
thing,
about
and
this
that's
on
what
our
they chose.
podcast.
I know you did, and I know that's why I was prepared. I was prepared. But anyway, you're not going to go wrong with this. I spent only $10 on this, guys. Oh, by the way, I should mention, I shopped, again, since I did a poll for the people, there's a bar cart for the people at $100. I only shopped at Target and Walmart for all of these. So these are legit prices that you can get within the week. Now, tequila, margarita, first thing I think of. Same as Dylan here. Espolón. Again, for my, friends and family coming over, again, mixing. They're not really sipping, but to what Dylan said, can't go wrong with even sipping this thing. It's fair enough. And $23, guys. Cheap. All right, the other thing. Old-fashioned. I'm sticking to rye-based whiskey. Knob
this
Creek.
is expensive.
Rye. It was actually kind of pricey, but the reason I chose it is because I felt, and from the poll I took, it's the most versatile because you're putting rye whiskey in all kinds of stuff.
It's great for cocktails.
And it's great. It's seriously a great thing for cocktails. $33. So this was the most expensive item on my list. Now, for gin, because we are getting lower, Bombay Sapphire, interesting enough. And so $23 is when you can get at Target actually for $23. And, fits very nicely. And unfortunately,
my shirt too.
I know, actually, color going there. And finally, vodka. And this one, mostly because I only had $11 left to spend. And I needed something.
Snap.
So we got some New Amsterdam
Look at that
vodka.
bottle. You picked it based
Look
off
at
the
that.
bottle.
And to be honest, I couldn't shy away from the bottle. They are based out of New York. That's how I remember. Because it looks like a skyscraper.
Wait, dude, this is a gin.
Oh, shoot. It is. Oh, shoot. I left it. But anyway, it is only $11.
They do make a vodka.
They do make a vodka. That's only $11. But I picked the wrong bottle. Turn it around. But anyway, there's my list. It is still New Amsterdam. Hilarious.
You double the gin if you're Jules, guys. All right, my turn.
All right.
I can't wait to get into my list because I've now realized how wrong you guys are and how you need somebody here to do this right. So, first of all,
Incorrect.
You are the mixologist.
I started with the very definition of what is a bar cart. So the term came into fashion really after Prohibition when people really got into cocktails, and it was initially actually called a cocktail cart. So Jules was actually kind of on the right track by thinking of this in terms of cocktails. Now, if you're thinking of this challenge in terms of cocktails, you need to start thinking about what are the most popular cocktails in the world. So I went to a VinePair article that listed the top cocktails in the world.
Course. Our number one resource.
I said, if everything you choose cannot make the top 5 cocktails, you've failed. You guys have all failed.
No.
I haven't.
Oh, minus my vodka, babe.
No, you guys have completely failed. So number 1 on the list of the top 5 cocktails in the world is an old fashioned, which has whiskey in it.
Right.
And not only any whiskey did I picked Old Forester Rye. Why? Because this is utilitarian. It's perfect for cocktails, and it's actually very delicious to sip on. 100 proof. This guy set me back $21.99.
It's up there.
You can still do old fashioned with this. It's a high rye. So
You can.
wrong.
Fashion. You
can.
Lies.
But this is better. Okay, but what else do you need to make an old fashioned? None of you guys have it, but I bought it because you need bitters, which are alcoholic, and they do not consist of they're not considered a mixer. So you need to be able to buy some Angostura bitters or whatever your favorite bitters
I
are.
admit, I'm missing all those.
They are expensive. So the cheapest I could find, even the little guy of this, was $6.98, so basically $7. There's your old fashioned. Now, number 2 on the list is the Negroni, one of my personal favorites. So for a Negroni, obviously you need gin, and I hate to admit that Dylan's right, but Gordon's is the correct choice for gin, and at like $11, $12 for a bottle, you can't beat it. You just can't beat it. Now, also for a Negroni, what do you need? You need vermouth. So you need red vermouth, Italian vermouth.
You do need
Luckily, vermouth is very inexpensive, and I was able to get this bottle for under $4.
Ooh.
$3.99. That's not all you need for a Negroni. You actually also need Campari. And I've tried a lot of the Campari substitutes. They're just not the same. I had to get Campari, but unfortunately Campari is expensive. Go for a 375 liter little bottle of Campari. It'll only set you back about $16, $17, and you got what you need. So there you go. Old fashioned, Negroni. We're all set. What's number 3? A daiquiri. Obviously, you need rum. There's only really one choice when you're on a budget, and I agree with Jules. It is Bacardi, but Bacardi white. Because for the cocktails, for the top 10 cocktails even, you're only going to need white rum.
Right.
Bacardi white rum, $7.99 for a 750 ml. Cannot beat that price point. Now, what's next? Dry gin martini. We've already got the gin.
We got double gin.
We got quadruple gin here, but you guys don't have the vermouth. You need to have some white, also known as French or dry vermouth. Again, the Gallo, super cheap, under $4. Now I can make a dry martini, easy. What's next? Last on the list, margarita. Now you guys picked a pretty serviceable tequila, but you guys completely forgot about one that's basically the same price, maybe $1 or $2 more, and exponentially better.
But that dollar would have put me over.
Blanco. It is worth the $1. Sacrifice it somewhere else because you're going to actually satisfy tequila sippers with this. They might okay, I could sip Espolón, but I want to sip Arete. Here you go.
But you're putting in a margarita.
Done and done. Or sipping. What's great though is like I can go beyond the top 5. I can get most of the top 10. In fact, 8 of the top 10 I can make with this. You know what else we got? We got a whiskey sour. We got the whiskey.
Manhattan.
Easy. Can make that. Manhattan. I got the vermouth. I got the whiskey. I can make it. Mojito. I got the white rum. You guys can't make a single cocktail with what you have.
Yeah, you know what? Most of America is not going to be able to make any of that cocktail because you're not going to find Arete.
Well, fine. Get the Espolón. That's fine.
You're not going to find that.
That's one cocktail out of 10.
Let me just ask.
You guys failed.
You know what this is?
No, the vermouth.
You know the definition of a cocktail
is like
requires bitters.
No, this is a bourgeois version of a bar cart, right?
You just came in.
Let me just
I was
fill it with
$5 under. Guys.
No. Let's fill it with all of the superfluous stuff, and then here's all the expensive liquors that are coming out. No, this right here.
People.
This right here is the core. This right here is a $100 actual bar.
Guys, we're a spirits show. We gotta show people how to game the system.
All right, fine.
This is how you game the system. Look how many more bottles I have.
Look, you know what?
Look how many more spirits I can make.
This is going to be resolved by our viewers.
The people.
Right? The people will vote.
The people.
You will vote this. Yeah, so that's it. You will vote this.
No way, man. Look at this. Look at how much you can make with this.
I'm missing the
you know what? You're gonna ask a college student to go buy this.
If you want to make a cocktail, you gotta have vermouth. You gotta have it. You're gonna make a Manhattan without vermouth? You're gonna make a Negroni without vermouth?
You're gonna grab this and you're gonna put some orange juice in it. You're gonna get this. You're gonna put some.
This is an elevated cocktail cart. An elevated cocktail cart for under $100.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Well, I will have to say though, I am actually shocked that we approached this in a very different way.
I am too. Well, here, you know what's funny though is like exactly your list. That's almost exactly my initial choices, and then I was like, wait a second. What's the point of this? Like, it's to make cocktails. So I kind of retooled it to do this. And actually, the hardest thing was the Campari. Yeah. I struggled with this. I was like, I want to have a full-size bottle because I actually love drinking this neat or on the rocks. But it's too damn expensive.
So I'd like the the 21 to 25 demographic to vote for this. I know you guys are hustling here, $100.
Look how much more
are you going to spend $100 on Gallo?
Yes,
and
it's
the
perfectly
bitters?
serviceable. It's serviceable. You're not going to win a cocktail award with it, but it's good.
Winning. It works. Yeah,
man, you're gonna get these, and you're gonna enjoy.
All right, guys, this has been a really fun episode.
Good
I had way more fun prepping for this, and I drove to like too many stores than I like to admit to get these under $100.
I just ran some Google, forms and good to go.
Oh man, well, anyway, guys, please vote. We'll put a poll up. It'll be under the community tab on our page. We'll try to put a link as well, and also just type in the comments what you guys think. Who you
$100 now. You gotta strictly stay under $100.
And hey, if you guys just think, hey, I need like 2 bottles, and that's all I go for, then type that in there too. Let us know what you guys think. Jules?
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this episode. Subscribe for more videos from Curiosity Public. Oh, if you do want to help the channel out, consider joining our private membership, Curiosity Private. It's going to be that join button next to subscribe. As always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious.
Seriously, folks.
Complete failure.
No, seriously,
failure.
folks. You know.
I'm sorry.
Can
you make me a Negroni? Can you make me a Negroni?
You know it to be true.
I can make you a Negroni.
Yeah.
Right now.
In college, you knew what a Negroni was, right?
You didn't say a bar cart for college students.
It's $100.
It's $100.
That's not an argument.
Come on.
But see, you can't make a mojito.
Yes.
Why not?
We all can. We're still missing the leaves, dude.
No, that doesn't count.
No, if we're going by your rule,
no, these are the things that contain alcohol.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yes, I know.
I admit, I was missing
you just have
vermouth.
the guests bring some mint
Well, you guys are grasping at straws, trying to save your bar carts.
Whatever. Comment below.
The people
Comment below.
told me, man, because I admit I am a terrible
Really?
host. I don't
Really? You're gonna pick the
This
two
is the
gin.
one right here.
And you're gonna pick the two gin, and you're gonna pick. You're gonna pick.
Darrow, baby.
I have
You're gonna
Darrow.
pick this.
I have it at home.
I couldn't believe how cheap these are. I don't know if these are California
Actually,
only,
I'm surprised too.
but they're like $4.
Yeah.
I was at like $95.
Wow.
I'm
exactly
100. Exactly 100. I squeezed that out, man. I had to swap out. No, you know, tequila was the hardest one.
Yeah.
I couldn't find one.
was the hardest
Tequila was the hardest one. I couldn't find it.